Alright everyone, we are back for tutorial number 3. That's right, we're already at number 3. In the same day, no less. So, last time I left off, we were just beginning to do extraction and just starting our life of being a miner. Again, you don't have to do this, but this is for those who do like to mine, like the peaceful life. So we're going to go to step 2. I was going to show you extraction with a maxed out character, but I want to show you the difference between extraction with 1 level and extraction with 2 levels, because the difference is considerable. Now, I have trained a couple skills since our last tutorial. I've trained up to level 3 for extraction, so now I'm pulling 40% of the resources that I find from the ground. I'm still at level 1 exploration, but I've also upgraded battle magic to level 1. So that I have a little bit more mana, actually twice as much mana, because I only had 100. So you can see how it's pretty good to even just have this at level 1. Cool thing is, all skills can be learned at the 1st, 2nd, and sometimes 3rd levels for free. There's no need for skill books. And yes, this game does have skill books, just like in EVE Online. Difference is, of course, you don't need skill books to start out. You just need them for the higher level versions of those skills. So the next few levels of extraction and exploration get to be very expensive as far as time is concerned. We're getting into 3 hours and 20 minutes, 4 hours and 30 minutes, and the reason that the devs did this, at least in my opinion, is because they know that these skills are huge moneymakers. Seriously, extraction is a big moneymaker if you know what to do with your materials. Because we can refine these and build ammunition and weapons and sell them to NPCs or to other players for a healthy profit. So the devs have, it makes sense that they made these skills very long-term skills. So let's see, what do we want to train next? You also notice I'm level 2 now. Your level's determined by how many skill points you've learned. So the more skills we learn, the higher this level goes. The higher this level goes, the less taxes we pay, which we'll talk about in another tutorial. Let's go ahead and do an easy skill. This is only 13 minutes to get even more mana. And hey, we need mana if we're going to be doing a lot of extraction. Okay, so here I found food, I'm a flog, and building stone. Again, each one of these costs mana. So if I hit my extraction once, that's 150 mana. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Let's hit it one more time. Yep, there we go. Wiped out the rest of those. Now, if I pick these up, let's just grab some more stuff here. Remember to spam G. So now we're getting 752 IMA. Now, you may not remember from our previous tutorial, but we were picking up somewhere in the realm of 250 to 300. So you can see there's a huge difference when we start to do that extraction skill. Now, we're really starting to get big money. That's almost 10,000 IMA right there. Let's just save up a little bit more. There we go. And I do recommend that you at least get your extraction skill to 3, maybe 2, because your second achievement is to extract 30 tons of resources. Unfortunately, even if you don't want to be a miner, but you do want free money, you're going to have to do a tiny bit of mining just to get past this achievement. So let's do this. We're going to make our way to the city. Now that we've got a decent amount of resources, we're going to just head on over to the city. Probably just sell them. I don't think we can refine them because the cities, I don't believe, have alchemic shops. I could be wrong, though. I'm going to the capital, and we'll find out if I'm wrong or right. Again, if you want to auto-travel, you just click on this guy here, go to land, and you just click on where you want to land. We'll zoom in. We're going to land just to the south there at Steel Nargval. That's the capital of Nargval. If you're wondering what all this gunfire is in the distance, there are dragons flying overhead, and the city is responding with its defenses. It's pretty cool to watch, especially at night in the game, because the rounds do have tracers. And I believe our next tutorial, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be about dragon hunting. So if you're done with mining, you don't want to see anything more about refining things down and things like that, feel free to skip this tutorial and move on to the next one. By the way, the shortcut keys to go up and down are going to be C and E. C goes down 100 yards or feet or whatever you want to call it, and then E ascends 100. You see as I hit the buttons, the slider here on the left goes up and down. Okay, we're almost in the city now. You can see there's more and more resources around here. This is not a good place to mine, not a good place to extract, because it's going to cost basically all of my mana. Yeah, see, there's 50 at a time right there. Right now, well, you know what? Let's pick it up. I mean, we're supposed to, right? We do actually need a little bit of timber if we're going to turn those into boards. I'm also going to show you a few controls with the market on how to just buy your resources. The last part of this tutorial is going to be, I'll just call it preparing for war. Meaning how to buy up ammunition and get ready to fight. Alright, here we go. We are almost landed, and if your ship is a big ship, this is going to be a much slower process. You'll see this in future tutorials, that bringing in like an Ox, for example, or a Pt.2, which is the battleship of the game, those take a while. They move slowly, they turn like semi-trucks on ice. They're very hard to fly, but the nuke balloon is not. Hey, look, somebody left a bunch of random loot. Let's just pick that up. Oh yes, and if you see blue boxes, be very cautious about picking those up. This is owned by Bronco Man, who's got 8,000 rep to humans and 6,000 to orcs. If I pick that up, it's not going to affect my rep, but if I try to open it, I'm going to lose a ton of reputation because I'm basically stealing stuff that belongs to him. Now, there is loot laying around that will belong to people who are negative reputation, because this game does have pirates. Feel free to open those up. That does not cost you any rep at all. Alright, let's pick up the rest of these. You notice that my cargo bay is getting less and less spacious, down to 9,578 cargo. Alright, now let's lay in this thing and start to refine. And this is a major improvement over the previous system. Back in the day, 20,000 IMA was worth a lot of money. Now you can just extract it yourself. So they have given a lot of power to the players, which I really appreciate. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be an alchemic shop here. That's apparently going to be a thing that you have to put in your player-owned settlement. So let's unload here. We're going to go to our flight center, and we're going to see that we have 18,000 IMA. Now that's worth a little bit of silver. If I go to the market, I'll go to this market. Resources, IMA. They're demanding 2,000 for 1 silver. So I can click on that. I can hit all, meaning it's going to fill as much of that order as I can. They're asking for 2,000 of it, so I mean, we're not going to hit that number. And 9 units of 2,000, it's going to be 18,000 IMA, and that'll give me 9 silver. Not a lot, I realize this, but remember, we're noobs, we're level 2, we extract 40%, and we're in a tiny balloon that it can't even carry that much. That number will start to increase quite a bit as you grow in level, and as you start to refine. I'm going to do refining resources in another tutorial. I thought I was going to do it in this one, but we're going to need a lot more resources, so I'm going to borrow one of my other characters for the purposes of that one. So that's a very short tutorial on your second bit of mining and extraction. you'll notice that we still haven't hit our second goal of getting 1,000 silver by extracting 30 tons. 30 tons is essentially 30,000 resources. We've probably extracted somewhere in the realm of 5 to 10,000. I'm going to show you one other thing before we move on to our next tutorial, and that is arming yourself for war. Alright, so we're going to click on our dock, click on our balloon, and so I'll show you how I did that. Vessel info is I. Click on I, we see our ship has 1, 2, 3, 4 machine guns. They are 1-10 machine gun flurry 300s, meaning they fire 300 rounds a minute. I mean, imaginarily, they don't actually fire 300 rounds a minute, but 300s are the base version of a gun. Looks like we got 500 rounds in each. Now, I just know from experience that won't be enough if we want to fight for more than 10 minutes. Also, I mentioned in another tutorial crystals. We're going to need those. You don't have to have those if you're new, but if you don't want to have to repair your ship later, I recommend at least getting that skill to level 1. That's this guy right down here, Defense Crystal level 1. To go to level 2, we need the book Magical Facets. We're not going to worry about that right now. We've got it to level 1, which means I can use the Chibi Crystal for the purposes of this tutorial. So I'm going to go onto the market. I'm going to go down to Magic, Defense Crystal, 3 carat. Now here comes the pay to win. I warned you, didn't I? Here is your pay to win, sirs and madams. This costs gold. Only gold. It's not available for silver unless a player decides to buy up a bunch and put them back on the market for silver, which we frequently do. I'm going to take part 2 in just a little bit in a second tutorial explaining buying gold items and buying gold, which is right here. So we'll be arming up in the next tutorial. See you then.